Today we would like to take a little bit of time to present a quick overview of paper recycling and what happens at a paper mill during the paper making process. In an effort to understand some of the key fundamentals that drive the waste and recycling industry, we have developed a website, waste.net, to act as a tool to assist in grasping the 4R strategy of reduce, reuse, recycle, and recover. Within the 4R's recycling sector, paper recycling is one of the most common basic commodities that is recycled. To gain an understanding of waste paper recycling, it may help to first get a grasp on the overall paper making process. At a paper mill, the waste paper is repulped by soaking in warm water and then adding gentle agitation. This induces the liberation of the valuable fibers. The wet paper fibers then form a soupy slurry. The pulping process is designed to avoid shredding, ripping or tearing the paper so as not to damage the fiber. During the repulping process, the non-paper contaminants may be removed. Light fractions such as tape and plastics float to the top of the slurry bath and are skimmed off, and the heavy contaminants such as metal staples and glass sink to the bottom and are removed. Further clarification steps may be introduced for the removal of such materials, as clay fillers and a de-inking process may reduce the excessive ink content. The clean uniform, pulp fiber slurry may be dewatered, then rolled and dried into sheets of paper. The collection and sorting of waste paper for the purpose of recycling may be largely defined as paper fiber recovery. This entails the segregation of different grades and qualities of fiber into mill-ready paper stock. The segregated and graded paper stock is then ready for delivery to a paper mill as a repulping feedstock. Baling waste paper for the purpose of handling, storage and shipping is a typical function after grading. The key factors in grading paper stock is the quality of the fiber length and the contaminants. High-purity bleached fibers, in such grades known as hard white, are a direct virgin pulp substitute, with long fiber length, no ink, no glues and an excellent fiber recovery yield. This is regarded as the premium, high-grade, high-valued fiber. Fine white printing and writing papers, with light printing, are a lesser purity than a hard white, and therefore they are valued less than a direct pulp substitute. Colored printing papers or heavily printed white papers are considered a lower valued grade, due to some restricted applications that they may be reprocessed into. Additional processing such as de-inking may be required for this grade. Mixed office papers are equivalent to colored paper except that they contain contaminants such as tape, adhesive labels, glues, paper clips, staples and so on. At the paper mill, when these grades are repulped, the clean fiber yield is reduced by the weight of the contaminants plus the loss of all the good fiber that gets dragged into the waste along with the contaminated residues. Not only do you yield less in clean recovered fiber for each ton of waste paper purchased, but the liability for the disposal of the contaminants is also incurred. Old newsprint and gray box boards are an example of a medium-length fiber grade. Once viewed as the dominant waste paper grade. The volume of old newspapers, referred to as ONP, has declined significantly since the world has migrated online in the current digital age. With glossy magazines, you encounter short-shaved fibers with fillers. These fillers are typically clay and may make up over 50% of the weight of the paper. Clay tends to foam excessively in the repulping process, so defoaming equipment is required. The recovery of the short-shaved fibers may have limited end uses, and you may incur extra recovery processing costs and losses associated with the fillers. Magazines or magazine trimmings, commonly known as flyleaf shavings, are deemed as a low-value, low-grade material. Books and book stock may contain printed white paper but may also contain covers and spines or bindings. Sometimes you may encounter hot melt glues in the bindings which are not water soluble and can cause issues in the repulping process. Typically mills may not accept books, so you may be required to establish a debinding process at your sorting operation. Switching to kraft-based papers, clean unprinted brown kraft with no contaminants is a direct kraft pulp substitute. Kraft paper is used to make corrugated sheet. Clean unprinted corrugated sheet trimmings and new box blanks are graded as DLK or double-lined kraft. Once corrugated kraft sheet is manufactured into boxes, the resulting waste becomes the grade known as old corrugated cardboard, also referred to as OCC. For most paper recycling operations, OCC is the most common grade that they handle. At the paper mills, Old corrugated cardboard may contain up to 5% contaminants such as tape and staples, but otherwise repulping yields a quality long fiber recovery yield rate. We intend to cover some other aspects of waste paper and paper fiber recovery at some point in the future. Until then, please feel free to reach out to us at your convenience. Waste.net provides a neutral platform to assist in finding a market for scrap, waste and byproducts, with the goal of matching waste material generators directly with beneficial users of those materials. By connecting market participants, we foster collaboration and promote environmental sustainability. Please feel free to visit us today at www.waste.net.